COVID assisted with that. Fast forwarded everything. Yeah, honestly.
Charlene, let's go ahead if you're ready.
All righty. I'd like to call the September 7th, 2022 Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Okay, I can't hear it. Please call the roll.
Barbaza, Burton,
Present.
Murray, Totfest,
Here.
Smithwick Ailey, Anderson,
Here.
Vadla. We have a quorum.
Great. Okay, so we'll go to the approval of the agenda, and we don't need motions for this. Am I correct?
That's exactly correct for both the agenda and the
Okay.
minutes. We don't need motions.
Are there any changes to the agenda? Not hearing any. Are there any objections to approving the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. We will move on down to approval of the minutes. Are there any changes to the August 3rd, 2022 minutes? Are there any objections to approving the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Presentations with prior notice, there's none. We'll move on to public hearing. And let's see, so do I read that first or do I get the motion?
You can read that.
Hearing? Read it? Okay, so public hearing resolution PZ 2022-010, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission recommending that the tract of land legally described as T5NR 10W SCC 28 Seward Meridian KM 2022023 Soldotna Junction Sub Creekside Estates Tract D-2 be rezoned from commercial to the rural residential on the official zoning map. May I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve Resolution PZ 2022-010, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission recommending that the tract of land legally described as T5N R10W SEC 28 Seward Meridian KN 2022023 Soldotna Junction Sub Creekside Estates Tract D2 be rezoned from commercial to rural residential on the official zoning map.
Great. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, thank you. So this is a resolution before you is to rezone a portion of land from commercial to rural residential. The property is located between Sharkafmy Avenue and East Redoubt Avenue. The proposed rezone was initiated by McLean Consulting acting on behalf of the Farnsworth Residuary Trust, who is the sole owner of the area requested to be rezoned. The petition includes a signature of Nina Kirsten, who is the representative of the trust. The 19-acre undeveloped property has frontage on both Sharkafmy and East Redoubt Avenue. The applicant conducted a study and deemed that commercial development of the parcel would be uneconomical due to the lack of city infrastructure, specifically of city sewer and water. The intent for the parcel is to be developed for residential use if the rezone is approved. Other rural residential zoned areas are directly adjacent to the north, south, and east. When looking at the Soldotna City Code, we find that the intent of the rural residential district is to provide for a stable, quiet, low-density residential development and other uses which are compatible with the maintenance of a rural environment. And on page, let's see here. Page 10 of your packet, there is a table that shows the code analysis where it looks at the existing zoning, which is commercial, the proposed rural residential zoning district, and the effects of the rezone. And so what you see there is typical with the commercial district. There aren't any cited specific standards. And of course, in the rural residential, there's a 40,000 square foot minimum lot size, 125 lot width, and so on. So the effect of this rezone does establish these minimums for this parcel. When we receive petitions for rezones, it requires a signature of folks who are in support of the rezone. And in this case, it's only a single parcel. And so we did receive the signature of Nina Kirsten, who signed on behalf of the trust in support of this rezone. The code also requires that amendments to the zoning map be considered if the property is to be rezoned is a minimum of 2 acres or enlarges an existing zoning district boundary. In this case, it meets both those tests. It's a 19-acre parcel, and it is on 3 sides. It is surrounded by rural residential, so it would expand that district. The lot within this petition meets the general standards of both the existing district and the proposed zoning district, the rural res district. We also have within our comp plan a generalized future land use map, and in this case, that map shows this block of land as having a commercial designation. The commercial classification is intended to create a concentrated, vibrant, and attractive downtown business district, which is convenient to both motorists and pedestrians. Primary uses include retail, personal and professional services, entertainment and establishments, restaurants, related businesses. A characteristic of this commercial land use classification is the availability of city sewer and water, which this parcel lacks. By contrast, the rural residential classification is intended to reflect low-density residential development in the more rural portions of the city. The primary use is single-family and 2-family residential dwellings. A few characteristics of the rural residential district are the absence of city water and sewer, large minimum lot sizes, and low-density development. Goal 2 of the general land use section is to establish a more concentrated commercial zone along the portions of the primary highways. The parcel before the commission is not immediately adjacent to the primary highways and is in fact behind the large Fred Myers parcel. As this area is not directly along the highway corridor, rezoning the property does not move the zoning district further from the intent of the land use plan. So due to the location of this parcel being away from the Sterling Highway and from concentrated commercial development and the lack of sewer and water infrastructure, as well as the proximity of Soldotna Creek, and due to its given compatibility with low-density development, staff believes the proposed amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan. We do have, in the additional comments section, some additional information about Soldotna Creek, which does run through this parcel. As you may or may not know, Soldotna Creek is protected and regulated by the Kenai Peninsula Borough's Habitat Protection Area requirements. That requires a 50-foot setback from Soldotna Creek. And so the adjacent riparian habitat and wetlands would fall under this borough code. Also, we did mail 30 notices to property owners within 300 feet of the development. We did not receive any comments or feedback, and we also circulated it. Circulated this to our staff, and also did not receive any feedback or comments. So staff recommends the Planning Commission recommend approval to the council. As described herein, the proposal is consistent with the envisioned Soldotna 2030 Comprehensive Plan. Resolution PZ 2022-009 was prepared for use and recommends approval of the rezone to the council. A yes vote would recommend approval of rezoning, and a no vote would recommend denial of the rezoning. And that is the end of the staff report.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for staff?
Yes, one question, Commissioner Burton. So Soldotna Creek is running through the lower right-hand portion of this parcel. There's access to this parcel on the east readout. Since there's a 50-foot setback requirement since this creek is protected, can a bridge be built over this Soldotna Creek, or does the 50-foot setback prohibit any structures being built over the creek? Or would this entrance into the lot be the only entrance to the lot? Can we even foresee that, I guess?
Right. Not knowing the lot configuration of how they might develop this, it's really hard to tell where they may or may not need access. Historically, the borough has issued permits for stream crossings, whether it's a culvert or a bridge. They have done that in the past. It may be that they just simply try to avoid this area and stay essentially north of the creek so that no crossing is required. And that, honestly, that's what I would anticipate. My recollection in talking to the surveyor was that their principal point of access to this subdivision, if it goes forward, would come off of Sharkathmai rather than off of East Readout.
Commissioner Anderson here. Has any residential plat ideas been submitted yet, or is it right now they're just wanting to switch it over to residential with we don't know anything else?
That's correct. They wanted to essentially get the rezone confirmed that that is something that they can do before they went through the platting action.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks.
Are there any other questions?
I see none.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? And we'll go to the ones in the room and then we'll move on to Zoom. So is there anybody in the room who would like to speak?
No.
Okay, for those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone. Do we have any of those?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay, with no one else wishing to speak, the public hearing is now closed. Are there any commission comments? Not hearing any, we'll call for the vote, please.
Barbaza, Burton,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
Totfest,
Yes.
Smithwick Ailey, Anderson,
Yes.
and Badla. Motion passed.
All right, great, thanks. So there's no unfinished business. Now we have new business, and that is Resolution PZ 2022-009, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission recommending approval of the Gulf Fairway 2022 replat. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve. Where's it at, though? There we go. Resolution PZ 2022-009, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission recommending approval of the Gulf Fairway 2022 replat.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Great. May we have the staff report, please?
The staff report starts on page 23 of your printed packet. The applicant, McLean Consulting, on behalf of Peter Machicki and Dorothy Hill, submitted the application on August 5th, 2022. The proposed plat, which is on page 27, for the Gulf Fairway 2022 replat, intends to transfer 7,797 square feet from Fairway Estates Lot 1, Block 3 to Gulf Acres Lot 1, Block 2. Both parcels are each developed with a single-family home. Golf Acres Lot 1, Block 2, is addressed as 300 Fairway Circle. And there's a map here. The single-family dwelling is served by a driveway that extends across the property line into Fairway Estates Lot 1, Block 3, which is addressed as 301 Fairway Circle. This replat would correct the driveway encroachment by expanding the size of the parcel so that the access that serves is solely confined within the newly created Lot 1A, Block 2. The parcels are zoned rural residential, as are all the surrounding parcels. Legal access to proposed Lot 1A, Block 3 of the Fairway Estates and Lot 1A, Block 2 of Golf Acres is provided by Fairway Circle. Neither municipal water or sewer are available to the two lots. The preliminary plats for Lot 1A, Block 3 and Lot 1A, Block 2 meet the minimum lot size, width, and coverage, as well as the maximum building height and minimum yard setbacks listed in Section 1710-230 of Soldotna Municipal Code for the Rural Residential Zoning District. The plat was circulated to city staff, and we received no comments. It was also mailed to 12 residents within 300 feet, and no comments were received. That mailing went out on August 16th, 2022. Staff finds that the preliminary plat for the Golf Fairway 2022 replat meets the general standards of Soldotna Municipal Code and therefore recommends approval. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions for the staff?
I see none, Charlene.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Are there any members of the public who wishes to speak on this item? And we'll go to those in the room first. Anybody wish to speak on it? Is there anybody wanting to speak? I can't see anybody.
Oh, sorry, Charlene. We have Peter Machicki. He's at the
Oh, we
microphone
have
now.
somebody. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't see anybody. Sorry, Peter. Okay, so please state your name and your, where you live.
That's okay. Thank you. This is Peter Machicki. I live at 300 Fairway, which is the lot that would be receiving the 7,000 square feet. And primarily, we wanted to balance out the space a little bit. If you look at the existing lot, we actually don't own the end of our driveway, which is a little uncomfortable. And our little parking area is right up against the, well, I'll tell you where the treehouse is awfully close, but legal. But it gives us a little bit more room, and we think, you know, dealing with Dorothy Hill, she actually suggested the change. She gets to retain her privacy. It keeps in the nature of the neighborhood, but I think it gives us greater control of that end of the lot for us. So unless there's any questions, we certainly would appreciate approval.
Okay, is there anybody else wanting to testify? Or wanting to speak on this? Sorry. For those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone. Is there anybody on Zoom?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay. With no one else wishing to speak, the public hearing is now closed. Are there any commission comments?
Yeah, Commissioner Anderson here. I don't know, I've never really been a part of one of these before, so I guess my question is, do they have to be here too, the other member? Or do they just put in an application for it, they both sign it, and then that's?
That is correct. They don't need to be present as long as they both have signed it. Basically, the recommendation of this board would then be taken to the Kenai Peninsula Borough, and they have the final plating authority and will make the final recommendation on it, but for this purpose, they don't
Okay.
need to be here.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Are there any other commission comments?
I see
Okay,
none.
not hearing any, we'll call for the vote.
Barbaza, Burton,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
Topfest,
Yes,
Smithwick Ailey, Anderson,
Yes.
and Badla. Motion passed.
okay, great. Now we are on public comments without prior notice. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment
I see
in the
none.
room?
I see
No
none,
one in the
Charlene.
room? Okay, sorry.
No, you're fine.
And for those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone.
There's no one else on Zoom.
Okay. Then we will go, then that public comment without prior notice is closed. Informational items, none. We will move down to reports. Mayor and council reports. I have on here Councilmember Parker.
Councilmember Parker wasn't able to attend tonight. We have no ex
Okay.
officio.
No reports. Okay, city manager report. City manager attend?
City Manager Queen isn't able to make it either.
Okay, so we are on the director ED&P report, associate planner report. Economic Development Planning Director Cerneski, did I pronounce that correct?
You're close enough. We'll take
Okay,
that.
sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I only have one thing to really report. Although I will say that Stephanie Queen, our city manager, is in Anchorage attending an infrastructure work session sponsored by Senator Murkowski. And so she apologizes but can't make it. The one thing I did want to mention is we had a work session and you voted on a accessory dwelling unit package, a new code for accessory dwelling units at our last meeting. And I mentioned that there was going to be a work session at City Council. And so that is coming up 1 week from today at City Council at 4:45 is when that work session will be. It'll be basically an hour long. It'll be similar to what we did. We'll go through a PowerPoint and talk about the needs within the community and how this code, if implemented, how it would work. So again, you're certainly all welcome to attend that. And if you know of other folks that perhaps missed out on our work session that want to attend, please invite them to attend that one. And that's all I have to report.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions? Not hearing any. We'll go to commission comments. It says I'm supposed to pick a commissioner to start and go down the line. And I don't have everybody's name in front of me and who's there. So could you help me with that,
I'll
Jen?
help you, yeah.
please?
Commissioner
Thank you.
Anderson, you want to go first?
No comments.
Commissioner Burton.
Thank you for coming out, guys, and it's nice to be a part of this commission, to be able to review this kind of stuff and take care of problems that are easy to handle. So thank you for coming out, guys.
Commissioner Murray.
I'll add mine to that as well. It's good when property owners work together.
And that's it, Charlene. Thank you.
All right, great, thanks. And so do we need a motion to adjourn or do we just adjourn?
Do you want me to
That's
read it?
not-
It's just that bottom part. I don't know if you see it the next. We don't need a motion. No, you can just adjourn.
Yeah. Okay, I can say the next regular meeting of the Soldotna Planning and Zoning Commission will be held September 7th. That's tonight.
Oh, it should be October 5th. Sorry if there might have been a
That's okay.
typo on yours.
Will be October 5th. And their meetings are broadcast live via the city website at soldotna.org. Okay, So we don't need a motion to adjourn. We just say we're adjourned.
Yeah, that's right. Thank
Okay,
you.
we're adjourned, folks. Thank you. I'll see you next month.
Thanks, Charlene.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.